jam backwards. And I'm hard of hearing, so I need the Liberty Bell. I'm deaf on this side, and I have distortion on this side, so this is my Republican ear, and this is my Democrat ear. And then there's Maud, so that's Mission Impossible. I couldn't think. Mission Impossible, Mission Impossible. So I had to go back to the, well, Mission Impossible 1, 2, 3, 4, Tom Cruise, Scientology, and then Mission Accomplished, George Bush, and then Mission Impossible, the TV series. That brought me back to my junior high, elementary, and high school years. And I looked at the characters. I had to Google, and they're all alive. And they're 60s, 70s, 80s, and one is in the 90s. And the only one that has passed is Peter Graves. So then I got to thinking, my line of thinking is like, okay, Mission Impossible. I like to be a positive person. So then I thought, well, Miss Iona Impossible would be a great drag name, right? Or just Miss Impossible. So then I broke it down some more, and then I said, well, Mission, I am possible. So then that led me 24 years ago to a journey that I never knew I'd be alive to tell today. On September 27th, 1988, I tested HIV positive for the first time. And let me tell you, that day was crazy. I was in shock. I came back to my assistant in the office and said, John, I'm positive. And he goes, oh, that's great. And I'm like, no, I'm HIV positive. And he goes, oh, he thought I meant something else, ended up positive. And so he was really a wreck, and we went to lunch. And then I received an award from a statewide mental health organization and had to put on a frozen face like nothing was wrong, and I was about ready to crack. And then I went to a support group, luckily that night, at St. Mark's that was sponsored by ActionAid. And that started my journey. Back then, half the room smoked, and the other half didn't. And it was a lot of people, and literally people were dropping like flies. And something told me, AZT, you take it around the clock, a double dose every 4 hours. You wake yourself up, there's something wrong with this. And something told me I needed to not take AZT. Because I think a lot of people died because of the toxicity of AZT. So, how am I going to live with this? How am I going to deal with this? And I found myself at Rite Aid in front of the Q-tips. And I'm thinking, a box of 50, a box of 300. I'm going to live long enough for 300, so maybe I'll get the 50. And it was that V8 moment, that epiphany, that said, damn it, I'm going to buy the box of 300.
All right.
And forevermore, I'm going to buy in bulk. Toilet paper, oh, there's so many things. And so, the group itself, we talked about our T cells. We didn't talk about our mental health. Have you rung the bell?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you. Heard it otherwise. There's no going.
I'll wave at you.
Thank you. Well, that's good. And there was one guy that would slam his hand on the table and said, I'm not going to die of this disease. And this guy had a really warped sense of humor. And he got better and was able to take the trip to Europe that he and his partner had wanted to take. And he got run over by a trash truck. But there's some humor in that he would have wanted us to laugh. And he did not die from AIDS. So, 24 years later, living. Living with. I'm not dying from. And I have a laundry list. Last year, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I'm surviving that. Everything's okay. Taking the hormone shot every 3 months. I have no testosterone. Mission impossible? Can you think of that? Anyway, so, and I'm diagnosed with bipolar 2. I call it the sequel. I have so many co-occurring illnesses that have helped shape my life. So I'm not any of those definitions or illness. I'm not mentally ill. I'm a person living with bipolar 2, the sequel. And the moral of the story is we only have today. And I wore a shirt that said, just to, it's not easy being queen of the entire universe.